Hello. All right, I think this is a great angle. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about getting your defense up. So I know that sometimes passionate people positive people, there we go, positive. I have little notes here, okay. Positive people want to choose peace instead of actually fight for what they believe in, or instead of arguing about things, and sometimes not wanting to go back and forth and not wanting to cause any trouble really causes a lot of trouble in your life, but you just let it go. You push it to the wayside, say I can deal with it, that kind of thing. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about finding ways to get your defense up, finding ways to not always be on the offense of everything. So you don't have to sit around and actually decide, okay, every time someone pushes, instead I'm going to be a passive person. I'm going to be either passive or passive aggressive, and hopefully sooner or later they'll stop hurting me, they'll stop doing whatever they're doing. But you can never really promise that kind of thing. So you can never really obtain that, because they're going to keep doing what you allow them to do, and because of this, you've already allowed them to go ahead and hurt you in this way. So some of the ways you can actually get your defense up is by putting your foot down. Now, as a passive person, putting your foot down is actually very difficult because it comes into running with confrontation. And so once you get confrontation and someone starts to get mad, you kind of backtrack, backpedal, and find a way to kind of just ease the situation and do it all the time. Like, oh, maybe we can just work it out. And basically that means maybe I'll just shut up and stop worrying about what I'm worrying about, and you'll, sooner or later come to terms with who I am and what I do or whatever. But that seldomly works. So it is important, of course, to state your opinion and not backpedal. Don't think because you're hurting their feelings that maybe you should change the way you're saying things, or just back down. That's just going to cause you to continue to feel like you're getting stepped on. Make sure to draw out your points and say all of your points, because a lot of times you do get talked over as a passive person. You don't get to say all the things that you're feeling. And always use feel, felt, found versus you in the blame game. I sometimes am guilty, of course, of doing the blame game. You did this, you did that, and it never works out in anyone's favor. Another way to get your defense up is to make sure that your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, making sure not to let anyone catch you slipping. So that's one way. And also documenting. At work, it's very important to go ahead and document whatever has happened and send it in, or keep a log, maybe on Google Drive, as much as I love Google Drive, of what is happening to you and how it makes you feel, as well as the legalities of it. That helps a lot, so that you don't have to feel like you're continuously telling the boss. But if the other person is continuously telling the boss and you're never telling the boss, that person's feelings and their portrayal of you will sooner or later be your boss's portrayal of you. So you have to keep a log and keep everything kind of together, so that you can at some point go to HR if you need to, or at least defend yourself. So because basically they'll come at you with 5 stories of what you did wrong, and you'll be like, I don't know about any of them. But if you know at the time that seems to be an incident, write it down, dialogue it, so that when they bring you those 5 stories, you can say, checking through my notes on this day, this is exactly what I did at this time, whatever else, and that will help you out. Knowing your facts then, instead of them calling you a random day and then they think that you're lying because you don't recall it and that kind of thing. I do not recall the actions of this day. Always sounds bad, no matter how you put it. So that's all I have right now for kind of getting your defense up, making sure that you're always taking care of yourself, and also knowing that it's a business, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Don't feel like you protecting yourself or worrying about your interest or your feelings is ever an issue. Just make sure that you are always caring for yourself, because if you don't care for yourself and you let everybody else do whatever, say whatever, then you're going to be the one sad and missing out. So that's all I got for you. See ya.